Hey guys, this is Thomas for Each Wealth Man Fan here, and I just want to say that this video has came out a little late. It was supposed to come out sometime around Halloween, but unfortunately, because I wasn't feeling well at the time, I wasn't able to finish it. So this has been delayed, and I'm sorry for that. It's just I haven't been feeling well. I just haven't been, feeling well, so I've just been kind of laying low a bit. But I'm feeling better now, and hopefully I'll be able to get more videos out at this time now. So, yeah, that's basically all I have to say. This video took a while to make, and I hope you enjoy it, because it took quite a while to make. So, with that said, let's get into the very special episode of Mace's Train Videos, the Lynden Model Train Show Spectacular. Enjoy. Today is one of the most anticipated days of the year. It's the Lynden Lions annual model train show in Lynden, Washington at the Lynden Fairgrounds. Me and my mom have basically gone almost every year, except for 1 year in 2015, I believe, and of course 2020 because of the pandemic. But now, after 1 year hiatus, it is finally back. And you get to see all the action in this special episode of Mason's Train Videos. The Lynden Model Train Show Spectacular. Note for some shots, I will be talking, and then there's others that I won't. Because sometimes the trains are coming so fast that I can barely talk about them. So, I'm not going to be talking that much, so you're going to have to enjoy just the sights and the sounds of the train show. Just letting you know before it begins. Just up the road is the Lynden Fairgrounds, which means we are here. The train show is being held in one of the big red buildings just next to the fairgrounds. After we got our stamps at the door, we officially headed inside. At the entrance, there's this really cool Burlington Northern miniature locomotive. It's been here for every single train show, and I believe it used to operate for train rides indoors, but now it's just a display piece. Though I would love to see it run again. Our first train is an Amtrak passenger train on an O-scale layout, along with a Rio Grande freight train. We see two more trains on a different layout, at this bridge as a Northern Pacific switcher hauls a string of boxcars while a Canadian National coal train passes by on the other track. There's more to the train show than just watching trains. A lot of people sell stuff. As you can see, there's these 187 NASCARs. I collected a lot of these as a kid. I'm glad that Lionel brought them back. And as you can see, there's a ton of stuff that you can buy. It's really cool. Next train, we have a G-scale layout as two steam locomotives haul freight trains as they meet each other at the bend. One is a Burlington route, Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy locomotive, and another is a Union Pacific steam locomotive. Here on this N-scale layout, we see a Seattle and North Coast locomotive parked. No trains are running at the moment, though I gotta say it's a very nice layout. Here, we see a string of a ton of loaded coal hoppers. Also located here at the train show are these big die-cast cars, two of them NASCARs. Tons of people also sell a lot of model trains. Here's a nice look at them, at some of them that are for sale. I really wanted to get one, but unfortunately wasn't able to buy any. Next, we see another Northern Pacific passenger train pass by on an HO scale layout.
Yeah, we're still getting a few of the bugs worked out. Every time you tear this stuff apart, put it back together, there's always issues. Some of this stuff is 40 years.
We see the CN coal train again here at this station.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just across from the station are these three BNSF locomotives parked in a siding. On this scale layout, there's a lot of cool buildings. A train store, a little drive-in, and a McDonald's, as well as a billboard. I gotta say, it's a very nice setup. Meanwhile, on an N-scale layout, we see a Milwaukee Road passenger train in Union Pacific colors. I find it very interesting to see the Milwaukee Road in Union Pacific colors when their colors are orange and black.
Working sort of on an outdoor layout. I got wrote that night a little bit.
One of the most interesting layouts at the train show is the one by the Moose Creek Logging Company. On this layout, it has an old-timey feel of old logging steam locomotives. Another cool thing is that you can actually drive these with permission from the workers, which I gotta say is really cool. This layout is also very well done, with tons of pines and trees and even a sawmill.
From my car. even the old one I had a little pouch behind the counter. I have a Mercury. I don't have my truck anymore. It was a gal pop, 2 tanks. It served its purpose of bringing my train stock. But I had the sadly just now in my whole layout at the top.
Hey, Elliot, can I run that way? Or do you want to come through?
Here, I'll just pull up beside it.
Alright, I'm just going to come down to that yellow guy.
You visit another HO scale layout with this cool looking container cruise ship, yard and train station.
No, because on top of the engine hatch.
For me, my favorite train on this layout is this Seattle Seahawks train set, mainly because the Seattle Seahawks are my favorite football team. The reason why I root for them because I was born here in Washington and I've always lived here, and I've never left, and I feel like I never will. The other side of the layout is filled with these tons and tons of auto racks.
It's for the
I like the
customer.
backdrop as well. Very nice looking. We see the Seattle Seahawks train again on the other side of the layout. The train approaching on the other track is this interesting looking cab car with a built-in camera. The built-in camera on this cab car is shown on this TV. As you can see, you can get a very nice look of the train's point of view of the layout. As it turns the corner, you will see a few people just ahead. The one with the mask and the hat, and the one with the iPhone 12 Pro Max, that is indeed me filming the TV. Next door to the train's entrance is this maintenance area. Here we see a Burlington Northern being maintained for another train. Also, while I was here looking at the stuff for sale, there's the iconic Coors Light Silver Bullet Train. Very nice looking model. We're back here on this N-scale layout as a CN manifest passes the station. We're back here at the HO scale layout we visited earlier in the video, and we can see this little display of a truck incident. Just down from it are these 3 B40 BNSF-8s. One of them, number 560, used to come by in Nooksack. We see our next trains as we see a Northern Pacific Manifest and a CN coal train. The downtown of this layout is very nice looking, with a Denny's, a UPS facility, and also I assume some condo apartments over there, and a church just over the area, that blue building right there, and some houses. It is a very nice looking area. Not too far from it, there's this nice looking steam locomotive on display, as well as this old passenger car. We see the CN coal train again here at this railroad crossing. After the coal train passes, we then chase this old steam train around the layout.
When you're done with this, how many bazillion gigabytes are you going to have on that phone?
After leaving the steam engine behind, we now focus on this G-scale layout. As you can see, we have a BNSF fake bonnet pulling a freight train, as well as a steam locomotive. This layout is run by the Puget Sound Garden Railway Society, as you can tell by the sign. We're now here on this N-scale layout, where there's a long line of double-stack container well cars loaded, as well as a ton of containers in the background waiting to be loaded. We then switch over to a bridge where we see some Burlington Route old EMD locomotives pulling a long string of grain hoppers.
Yeah. They were
Yeah, the 5 locomotives to get them over the top, and then and on a shift, one helper crew would work 2 trains. On a train to the top, back to train. And you had 5 trains a day.
Also on the layout is this cool little Oscar Mayer Wienermobile on a flatbed, which is actually a whistle off the Wienermobile. The guy told me that he stole it off the Wienermobile. Very nice looking. We also have this cool truck stop set on an N-scale layout that I recently showed you. And here is a locomotive, a Dash 9 BNSF number 4933. Also on it here at the train show is this layout that's been here since the very first show. This really cool carnival circus setting, along with the Wild West setting on the other area over on the left. I gotta say, it's a very nice layout. On the other table, there's also this really cool parade setup right here. Back on the same layout, we saw the BNSF locomotives. There's these Union Pacific locomotives in the siding. We're back here on the G-scale layout where we see the BNSF fake bonnet once again. Back on the HO scale layout we saw earlier, we see a new train on the layout that I didn't see before. This CSX First Responders GEVO pulling a string of boxcars. This shot from the bend in the elevated track was really cool. Here I got to see 3 trains at once.
Couple more BNSF.
Back on the N-scale out, BNSF 4933 leads a auto rack train.
Ready to go. Yeah, I can figure out how to get the thing to work wirelessly. That'd be great.
I'll have to call them.
Taking photos of it. Photos is not one on the ground.
That's a long train.
Got him going, I see.
Yep. Still got a couple of hiccups every now and then. So overall, I'm doing all right.
On this next layout, we see a BNSF switcher haul a mine train on the lower level of this very big layout. This part of the layout is a loop. So the train would go into the tunnel here and then would come up on the elevated track and then come back down again. Also right above is the main loop of track, which is the main layout, as you can see as that train passed on the bridge. We now take a look at this layout with a Northern Pacific manifest. Back here where we saw the Burlington Route grain train, this locomotive is very cool. This is a big boy steam locomotive. Even though it's not Union Pacific colors, it's still a very amazing sight to see a big boy locomotive on one of these layouts. Known as the longest locomotive in the United States. A little while later, those Union Pacific locomotives that were sitting in the siding are operating as they pull a loaded coal train around the layout.
I take it.
Okay, out of the way. He's taking a video there. Don't bump him.
Just like the trains that come through Bellingham, tons of coal.
Yeah. And I hear the engine a lot of times. It's bobbing, a lot of times.
Yeah, they're really loud.
Yeah, it's wake up in the morning and in the dark in the morning.
What's up?
Oh, I don't see a great big long tilt.
Yeah, I chose not to bring that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, he's way down there.
Oh yeah, of course.
As the coal train makes its way into the yard, there's another train waiting there with some old Southern Pacific locomotives, pulling some refrigerated boxcars as the Union Pacific coal train comes into view.
The next one is a blue ticket with the number 739. Blue ticket 739. We have our first winner up here this hour, and we're going to keep drawing tickets. We got lots of prizes to give away. The next one is a blue ticket with the number 819. 819. Blue ticket.
With the coal train now out of the way, the Southern Pacific locomotives pull their consist out of the yard.
Ticket with the number 790. 790. White ticket 105. White ticket 105. Hey, young man. You look like a train engineer. White 011. White 011. And a blue ticket with the number 794. Blue 794. Another blue ticket with the number 72. Blue ticket 782.
A little while later, the train stopped for a rest as we listened to its digital sounds idling.
There you go. Okay, as I promised, we're going to call out a couple more numbers, and that'll be it for this draw. We have some tickets up here that are unclaimed and surprises to go with them. But the next ticket that I'm going to draw is a blue ticket with the number 797. The number 797.
A little while later, that Union Pacific coal train passes the parked Pacific Fruit Express. This next HO scale layout we visit, we see this old GP Santa Fe locomotive in the old black and white scheme. Pull a slow freight. Next, we see these two EMD Jeep locomotives by the Milwaukee Road pull a freight out of the yard. After this train goes by, we go back to the HO scale layout we visited earlier in the program. Next, we visit this O-scale layout where we see this Union Pacific locomotive go around this O-scale layout. We visited this layout earlier. We're back at the water tower we visited earlier. I soon found out that you could actually press a button to make sounds. Here, take a listen. We're now on a different layout where we see a modern Amtrak passenger train with two GE Genesis locomotives at the head end.
And as we're getting ready, I'd like to also remind you that you were given a ballot when you came into the door, in through the door, and each layout has numbers on it. You see a red tag on the side.
Back on the HO scale layout, BNSF 7039, a GEVO leads a coal train.
Another red one, 650, 650. these up a little better. We gotta get some more winners here. Okay, our next one is a red ticket with a number of 690. 690. 2 tickets here. One is a white ticket with 150. White 150. And the other one is a blue ticket with 771. 771. The white ticket with the number 192. White 192. A red ticket with the number. It's upside down. 661. 661. Another red ticket with the number 724. Red.
Back on the UP and BNSF layout we visited earlier, BNSF 4933 leads another auto rack train, but this time a Norfolk Southern Gevo is along for the ride. Back here on another HO scale layout, you see some trains parked behind this bridge area. This is where all the trains terminate on the layout. As the train began to move, another train approached just in front of us on the main line.
That's the one where the button goes down.
After a little while later, they set off. Moving on towards this bridge, we see the Seahawks train we saw earlier in the video. And then later, that CP rail manifest that we saw appears again. We're back on board this cap car that we saw earlier with the onboard camera.
Coming
Turning the corner, you'll see some people waving.
Let's go see. You see it coming? I see it.
The guy on the left is me.
Damon, here you are, right in the picture.
That one. That one. I want to taste it.
Back at the terminal area, 2 steam locomotives wait for the trains to pass. We see the Seahawks train one final time here in this shot.
Uh-oh, they're gonna crash. They're gonna crash.
Back here on the N scale out, we see a completely different train. A piggyback tractor-trailer intermodal train led by 2 Santa Fe war bonnets.
It's very finicky. I don't think we went over those yards very well.
We're back here on this old Santa Fe layout where we see a Burlington route Jeep locomotive pulling a small freight parked in the yard. Later at 3:52 p.m., the train departs out of the yard and heads onto the main line. Here at this railroad crossing, you will see our final 2 trains here on this layout. 2 Santa Fe trains meet here at the crossing. Now see our final train here, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's the Super Bowl Express, with nearly all 32 NFL teams, and most of them who have won a Super Bowl, including the Seattle Seahawks are on this train as well. And with that, that brings us to the end of the Lynden Train Show Spectacular. I hope you enjoyed this very special episode of Mason's Train Videos. So, for now, and until next time, thanks for watching.
Okay, now it's running at the moment.
Yeah, in charge of coffee and drinking snacks and whatnot for the guys.
Yeah, because I grew up in Ventura, California.
And a lot of my stepfather's buddies were friends of his from Hughes Aircraft. Scott would have loved to come. There we go. My husband would have loved to come, and he was absolutely exhausted.
Oh, we gotta derail that underneath the bridge. Uh-oh, we left one behind. We left a big contest behind.
Hold up.
Oh, that was so close. Got there just in nick of time. You prevented a very nasty accident.
All right, your 3 runway is going